Hi. Um, oh, it's still playing. Good morning. It's Labor Day. I've got the day off. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a really good mood. Um, Yesterday I went to my 1 year old granddaughter's birthday party. Oh my gosh, so darn cute. And the all the presents, the presents were super cute and fun. And I was playing with the things making noise and stuff. Music and these cute little toys. It's like it's not your birthday. Excuse me. So yeah, I've got the day off. And there's 100 things I should be doing other than this, but this is way more fun. And this video is going to be just nothing but just entertainment and fun. Couple of housekeeping things that I'll get to, but yeah. So even though I've got the day off, I've got my big TV over there that I check my work email on because I have to. I even on my day off, I have to check my email because I get notifications once in a while. Hasn't happened for a while, but I have. Just really quick, I'm a data analyst, kind of a server admin, IT guy. So I've got these automated processes that I've designed that go out and they grab data from different systems and it puts the data on my servers. And once in a great while, one of those processes, I have like a dozen of them. They run, after hours. Once in a while they'll fail and I'll get a notification, so I got to get on it right away. So anyway, blah blah blah. But so, yeah, so yeah, I'm dressed like a lumberjack. Um, Apparently a Scottish lumberjack. I don't know, but one of the things I should do at some point. I've got these huge logs in behind my trailer in front of the garage to the point where I can't get my motorcycle out. So I got to move those in the backyard and cut them up. I've got a big chainsaw. It's like, brr, 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 uh, do you guys remember Tim Allen from Tool Time? Yeah, yeah. So it's like that. And you guys, I don't know what it is about splitting wood, right? I've got a big 8 pound maul. There's something about splitting wood that just makes you feel manly, right? I don't know what it is, but my mouth is dry. I don't know why. I'm not nervous or anything. So yeah, I'm in a good mood. So this is going to be just pure entertainment, you guys. Just, I hope you smile. So that mug, this mug, there's a story behind this. I was up on the North Shore of Lake Superior. If you're familiar with Minnesota, the Lake Superior North Shore is gorgeous. So I was up there camping and I saw this in one of the gift shops. Lake Superior, unsalted, shark free. So I had to have it. And by the way, Chris, my cousin, if you're watching, she lives up there. Well, you're in Two Harbors, right? So anyway, love you, Chris. But Chris, at the beginning of the intro to the video, what's it called? What's that genre called? And for the rest of you, it's called funk, right? And Chris, no, that was not Tower of Power. I would have gotten copyright strikes on that. So a while ago, I talked about my huge audio library that I download, for future videos. So I'm poking around and sorting stuff and putting it in categories. And I ran across this one tune and I'm by myself, but I'm literally like, okay, I'm going to use that. Kind of freak people out at the beginning of a video or whatever. So yeah, North Shore, Lake Superior, it's gorgeous. So, and Chris invited me to come up and bring my trailer and camp up there. So I might do that depending on the rest of the chemo goes and all that stuff. So, all right, let's keep going. Okay, so whoa. Ava, most of the lights went off. Did you make that happen, or what happened?
I don't think so.
Well, so and if you're new, Ava is my snarky sidekick. All right.
Snarky?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can get a little lippy once in a while, which is okay because I just give it right back, right?
Whatever.
So most of the lights went off. I mean, the fire is still going because that's wood, right? So, and a couple of things are on battery backup. If you're an IT person, you get it, right? So, so Ava, what are you doing?
I'm playing Minecraft.
Minecraft? Well, that's another story I'm going to tell, but a video game? Like, you don't have fingers. How does that work?
I use telepathy.
Telepathy? I think you've got your science mixed up. That's not how it works. But so anyway, we'll talk about Minecraft in a bit. But the birthday party, I wore this. Well, I'm giving it away. I wore this shirt to the birthday party for my two boys that were playing for hours and hours, and they thought it was funny. I bought it at a garage sale, so I had to have it. But anyway, so Ava, are we running low on funds, or what's going on here? Like, oh, do we need it? Do we need a sponsor and like replenish our checking account? How much is in there right now?
Around $4.
Oh, geez. Okay, so let's do a sponsor, and then we'll keep going. All right. You okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. You got something lined up?
Oh, you betcha.
All right, cool. All right, let's go.
This episode of The Mad Camper has been brought to you by Sprite. Please enjoy in moderation.
I can't do it. My tummy hurts.
You know what? Millennials, or wait, Gen X or Gen Z, I lose track, right? But, completely irresponsible. They didn't read the instructions. They skipped over the moderation part. So I found that. I thought it was funny. But so Ava, I look like I'm all sweaty and gross, but I'm not. Can I please turn the lights on since you don't have fingers?
You look a little moist, so go for it.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's this is, wait, I screwed up. Wait, I screwed up. I accidentally turned a fan on. I got to turn that off. Okay. This is like real technology. It's not telepathy, right?
Whatever.
All right, now. So yeah, my two sons were at obviously my middle son Brian, his daughter, right? They were both at the birthday party, and I am so proud of both of my sons. They're adults now, right? Millennials, I think, maybe, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, we talked and laughed a lot, telling stories about, when they were little or whatever. But really quick, so Dan, for years, he started out at bottom level in Taco Bell, which I love, by the way. He's all the way up to like store manager, where when they build a store, he's the one that goes in and trains everybody, including the store manager, to make sure they're following all the procedures and all the accounting and all the, very, very, but proud of him. But Taco Bell corporate was taking advantage of him because he was such a hard worker, 60 hours a week. And we were camping, well, not camping, we were on a picnic, and he's on his cell phone. The rest of us are throwing Frisbee and having fun. Well, the other two of us, But he's like, okay, so what do you think? Should we fire him, or should we get somebody else, or what's going on? So yeah, okay, so that's what he did for, geez, Dan, how long has it been? Well, 10, 12 years or whatever. So burnt out, right? And if you talk to him, he'll tell you this. Running ragged, driving all over the state of Minnesota to different stores to get stuff set up. And then, it's just nonstop. And yeah, so now he got a job with a pretty big company. They're national. And they install dental equipment. So he goes in and he troubleshoots and he installs dental equipment. And I know, because most of you know, I started up and ran my own computer support company. I did that for 18 years, had a blast, but I got burnt out. But so a handful of my clients were dental offices. So yeah, I would go in and I would set up the network and I would, do all that, set up the PCs and the wiring closet and all that. So Dan and I are talking about, category 6 wire and the wiring closet and all that. So it's really cool. Now, 9 to 5, right? And I'm like, dude, what are you going to do with all your spare time now? He's like, I don't know. Watch your videos, or no, I'm kidding. But so yeah, huge, just to decompress. He's got a girlfriend. He's got stuff going on. So it's like corporate sometimes does take advantage of people that work hard. They just keep piling on until somebody gets burnt out and they quit. So it's just dumb. So anyway, I'm going off on a rant. So I'm so glad and very proud of both my boys. So Brian, my middle son, the birthday party, right? Adeline, I love that name. So darn cute. So Brian, what he does, he's a welder. Been doing that for years. I think you love it, Brian, right? Even though a big piece of metal slid over and it squashed I think it was your index finger, where it was bad. So anyway, Brian's company is national also. So he does welding, right? So SpaceX, the rockets, Elon Musk, all the Starlink and stuff, which I'll be doing when I'm on the road. I'll be doing Starlink, by the way. Brian was working on a SpaceX. Well, at that point, it's like a tube, right? A gigantic, and some of these huge containers, and they're doing pressure testing. And one of my clients back in the day was Dowco Valve. Can't believe I remember that, but I set up their network and did a bunch of that stuff. Pressure relief valves. When the pressure goes up in a container and it blows the valve, it's part of testing. You have to be wearing ear protection because it's loud. So we were talking about that. So yeah, both my boys, I'm so darn proud of both of you, if you're watching, which I doubt. So, all right, so let's keep going. Okay, this is getting too long. We're at 15 minutes, too long. I'm doing editing, and it's like, yeah, delete, and no, scrap that, no. There's two things I want to talk about with you guys, because, well, it's important for me to talk about it. And most of you know I study psychology, right? So I want to talk about humility. So 1986, I was 130 pounds, 5'11". Like the BMI is not even you need to gain weight, right? So this scrawny, geek, right? So 1986, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, because that was the new thing, right? With another major in Business Administration. because I thought I might start my own company. So, fresh out of college, another funny story. Fresh out of college, I went to work for a nuclear power plant in Red Wing, Minnesota. NSP, Northern States Power, back in the day. Fascinating. All the drills and the training and the metal detectors and, Homer Simpson leaving the factory and he's got something stuck on his back. Yeah, all of that. Fascinating. All right. Another quick story. I'm walking through the plant, and if you can imagine pipes and all kinds of, like the stuff Brian does, all the welding and I'm walking to the lunchroom because it was in a different part of the plant, right? And so I got hired to do document control, all right? So we were in charge of all the work orders and making sure there were signatures, and we did microfiche. We took photo, and so we did this microfiche and did all that. So interesting. So I'm walking to the lunchroom and I happened to glance over and there's a meter that was like, bzzz, like pegged out, right? Green, yellow, red. So I talked to my boss and he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Somebody knows about it. I'm like, seriously? So I let it go, but fascinating. So, BS degree, 1986, right? Another funny story. I was digging for my business card and I ran across these. Does anybody know what these are? They're blank. They haven't been punched yet. So programming back in the day, like COBOL and Fortran and assembler language. So these are punch cards. Most of you are way too young to even, you sit at this thing and you manually, you punch out your 80 column Hollerith cards. I had a stack this big, COBOL. I was walking from the dorm room to the data center to have my program run, and I slipped on the ice in Minnesota, so my deck went up in the air, and when I got there, I had to repunch a bunch of cards. Geez, this is really dating me. But so I gave my deck to the operator, and it started running. Well, programming. I missed a comma or something, or a period, or whatever. What it did is, it put my program into a non-stop loop. It was, it just kept running and running and running and running and running. In the middle of that loop was a page eject. So these great big line printers, it was like, bzz, 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 bzz. So I go over to pick up my printout. Most people, it's like this, right? 4 or 5 pages, the results of your program. So mine was like this, and the operator is standing behind the table with my big stack of, he's tapping his foot, and I'm like, sorry. He's like, no, I get it, so I took my big stack and, went and built fires with it or something. No, they probably recycled it or whatever. So just funny stories, you guys. But now, humility. I want to talk about this. So started my company in 1989. That's when I incorporated. All right. Subchapter S corporation, corporate logbook and the bylaws and, board of directors, which was me and my wife at the time. So we would drive to Duluth and just have fun. And I could write that off as a board of directors meeting, as an expense, and I used to actually train companies, small companies, how to run their own accounting, payroll and the taxes and the 941 and all that stuff. But anyway, started the company, and it started small, but it took off. You know why? Because back then I was humble. I'll never forget it. I was standing in front of this great big brick building with so-and-so and associates in these big, neon, and I've got my white shirt and my tie on because I'm just starting my company, right? And so I go in there and attorneys, intimidating, right? So I go in there and I'm just, hi, I'm Jim. Nice to meet you. And I met all the partners, and so they're like, okay, so here's what's going on. We want to do this. And as a consultant, they all put their pants on one leg at a time. And it occurred to me, they need me, which was very humbling. Think about it. So I'm like, as I always did with my clients as a consultant, it's our job to do the research and then recommend, so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to run the numbers, A, B, and C. A is if you're, short of cash and you just want like a cheaper, bare bones, if I were you, what I would do is I would do plan B. And if you got tons of cash, saved up, end of the year, expenses, like let's spend money. So I was really busy in the winter because everybody was like, trying to spend their last cash. But anyway, they handed me their credit card. Well, this was like years later after I built trust. This partnership, this attorney's office, years later, they handed me their credit card and they're like, you know what we need? Just go ahead and do it. So, so started small and it grew like crazy. When I got burnt out, because it was just me, I thought I was Superman. Here I am to save the day at later on, once my ego started taking over, right? And I think my clients kind of saw that a little bit, brand new company car with like vinyl, graphics on the side. They're like, okay, right? But my point is, I was doing long hours, all right? Billing out. I billed for my time. Right? Just like an attorney or a CPA, right? But 12, 14-hour days. And I think my record was I actually billed out 11.5 hours in a day. That doesn't include travel time. Humility. I think my mismanagement of my company and thinking I could do everything myself. So not only do you do like a long day of billable, but then you got to go back to the office and do all the accounting, all the accounts receivable, accounts payable, and payroll and all that. Submit your forms to the state and to the feds, the 941 or whatever. Okay, so I was done editing. I'm almost ready to publish. And then I thought of something. Not in my defense, but at the time, 18 years ago, my wife at the time was a stay-at-home mom. Once the company started to take off and I could support us, she was at West Publishing in Eagan. I don't know if you're familiar. Anyway, she had a job. We had a long talk about, daycare, and, her salary barely covers the daycare. So why not? She stays home and raises our kids, So not in my defense, but when we made that decision, it was early on in my company. It was like I was 5 years in or whatever, a few clients. It was on me, right? Sole breadwinner. I had to provide for my family. So when my pager back then, pagers, back in the day, when my pager went off, or my cell phone rang, and I used to have one of those big bag phones, like You know, I don't know if you remember, great big battery with this, handset thing. If the phone rang, it's like, okay, money. So I got to go at night or whatever, weekends, So as the sole provider, yeah, I could have like cut off at 5 o'clock. The phone rang and, sorry, it's after hours. I'm going to bill you, 1.5, what I normally do. No, I took the call because we had, later on, we had like a brand new house. And so I had to, does that make sense? So, yeah, so that and my ego kind of took over. So just being honest. So yeah, as the sole breadwinner, there was some pressure, right? Phone rings, money, I got to go. All right, let's keep going. I think my mismanagement of my company caused my marriage to fail. I really regret that. And I'm just sharing, just being honest, you guys. Humility. I'm like, okay, I effed up, right? And if you talk to my boys, they'll say, yeah, Dad was gone a lot. So just something I want you guys to kind of know. Humility, and especially, doing this whole YouTube thing, which is really cool. Take it down a couple notches. I'm having a blast. I spend a fair amount of time on it. But I hope you guys know I'm very humbled by what's going on with this channel. The Mad Pack, and I say it over and over again. So I'm not going to say it. It's very humbling. All right. So, yeah, I think I'm going to cut this off. I was going to do one other thing. I'll do it in maybe the next video or whatever, but thank you, you guys. You guys know that. And sorry to leave on like a downer. Yeah, no, I haven't found a new wife yet. So, and talking to girlfriends, it's like, oh, heck no. This relationship will fail because you're not going to put time into it. But which is not true. I had a great time, dating. That was a blast. I haven't dated in like 3 years, you guys. Which, it's like, it's a lot easier because I don't have to clean if somebody's going to come over. So, all right, I got to go. And so do you. Thanks again. And I'll talk to you later. All right? Okay, bye.